Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or hey if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be another bookish scavenger hunt challenge. So essentially this means that I go through a series of questions, 10 questions to be exact, and I will eventually end up with my next read, and then I'll do a little reading vlog on the book that I get. So the questions are kind of like, it's a hunt. It's literally a scavenger hunt. You go from one question, which will lead you to the next, which will lead you to the next, and so on and so forth. I've done this, I think, 2 times on my channel before, so if you liked this one, then check those 2 out as well. And yeah, hopefully I'll get a good read by this. You kind of just go through your shelves and scout out which ones will belong to each question. It's super fun. It's a super fun way to choose your next read, and I love doing it. So this challenge is going to choose my read for the weekend, and I am very excited. I'm going to refer to an old video, the first bookish scavenger hunt that I did, I think about 6 months ago, and I did get inspiration from Ellen Catherine's scavenger hunt video, so I will be using the questions from that, but they did come originally from Ellen Catherine, so bear that in mind. I have also got quite an extensive TBR at the moment, so we have a lot of choices to choose from in the end, because last time I kind of struggled because I didn't have too many and I had to kind of not follow the rules exactly, so we didn't end up with like an exact book, but this time hopefully we will, because I have got a lot more options to choose from. As always, let me know if you have read the book that I end up choosing, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first question or prompt is choose a 5-star read and then a book you would recommend for people who liked the 5-star read. Okay, so kind of like if you liked this one, you'll like this one type of thing. Okay, this one is actually kind of hard. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of play it quite safe for the first question. The 5-star read I've got is Heartless by L.T. Silver. This one is small town, cowboy romance, single dad, all that jazz. And I think that if you like this, then you would like Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. This one doesn't really follow the same tropes, but I do feel like the writing style and the premise and just sort of like the series that Paisley Hope is developing is very similar to L.C. Silver, and I do feel like if you like A Small Town by L.C. Silver, you'll probably enjoy Paisley Hope's writing style, so that's what I'm going with. I've just watched back my old bookish scavenger hunt and I actually chose Heartless last time, but then I recommended the Lila Sage book instead of Paisley Hope, so I clearly really like this book. The next prompt is count the number of letters in the title, then choose a random number on the bookshelf and count that many places forward. So I think I mean like choose a random spot and count that many numbers forward to end up with a book. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 letters. Okay, so we're just going to find a random spot and I'm going to count 15 onwards. Okay, so we've ended up with All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata as our book that we landed on after counting 15 spaces. The next prompt is pick a book based off the similar elements on the cover. Okay, so we've got orange, we've got 2 people on there, blue writing, we've got sort of like a very simple but bright cover going on. So I guess we'll maybe try find one that's kind of orange. I'm not sure if this one is actually similar, but we've kind of got like the same colours going on. We've both got blue in there, we've both got orange, bit of yellow, and then we both have like that kind of cartoon person. I feel like, yeah, we're gonna go with that. So we've got Good Girl Complex by L. Kennedy. Okay, so the next prompt is to look at the page count and then reverse that page count and find a book with similar pages to that. So this book has 355. We need to find a book with 553 pages, which honestly should be fairly easy because I do have quite a lot of like middle thick books. How many does this one have? 563. I think that the closest we're going to get is Air of Fire by Sarah J Maas. This one has 500 and... I've lost it. 562 pages. So how many are we off? 553, 562. We're off like about, you know, not a lot. So we're going to go with Air of Fire. The next prompt is to list the tropes from this book and find a book similar to these tropes. That's quite hard because this is the middle of a series, so I don't want to spoil anything. But we'll just be like, we'll just say fantasy, strong FMC, fae. I don't really know how much I can say without spoiling this plot. Fantasy, strong FMC, assassin. What have I got that is like this? I honestly might just choose like any fantasy, just because any fantasy with a strong FMC, that's what I'm going with, because I don't know how much I can say without spoiling this book, because it is like the 4th or 5th book in a series. I'm gonna go with From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one has, in my opinion, strong FMC. It's a fantasy. We've got lots of political intrigue. We've got secrets that we don't find out yet. Like, lots of stuff is going on. So we're gonna go with this. It's also part of a long series, both long series. Yeah, we're just gonna go with it. So we've got From Blood and Ash. The next prompt is to find a book with the same colour combo. So the same colours that we've got going on here. So we've got, what have we got? Red, some black, some grey, like lots of steel colours. Okay, so anything along the lines of this. Maybe Crimson Moth. I feel like that's that actually potential. Other than the green, which we don't have in From Blood and Ash, they've both got red and they've both got grey. This is like a silver grey font. Maybe Game of Thrones. No, I feel like we're gonna go with the Crimson Moth because they've both got like that same red going on with like the dark on the outside. I guess actually From Blood and Ash does have some leaves, some like petal things going on, and this one has leaves and petals. So yeah, we'll go with the Crimson Moth. The next prompt is read the first sentence, then pick a book that has the same word on its cover. Okay, so the first sentence of the Crimson Moth is... Do I go from the prologue or chapter 1? Because the prologue is when. Do we have... Oh my gosh, that is actually perfect. So we've got when. We have When the Moon Hatched. Literally perfect. So we've got When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker as our next book. Okay, the next prompt is to go to the acknowledgements and find a name in the acknowledgements, and then find a book written by an author with that same name, if that makes sense. So I'll have to have a quick scan over this and then we'll pick a book. I think this is our last prompt. It's actually not our last prompt, but there is a name in the acknowledgements that I do have a book from. So we've got Lauren, and of course that means we're choosing Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Okay, we're on to the second to last prompt now. We have to look at this cover and find a cover similar to this one. I feel like we've already had that prompt, or one very similar. Maybe I've like repeated a prompt twice, but anyway, we're gonna find a cover similar to this one, I guess. I'm trying not to choose all of the same books as I chose in the last Bookish Scavenger hunt, but we've got to kind of find one with some flowers on it, maybe some metallic silver, maybe a sword, something like that. I fear this might be a massive reach, but I've picked Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I just really don't want to repeat books all the time, so I'm trying to pick ones that I haven't picked in the previous challenges before. So this one is kind of actually similar in ways. It's got the flowers, it's got the purple vibes, it's kind of like dark, and then also we've got like the flowers surrounding a central object. So we've got the sword on this one, and then we've got the baseball on this one. So that is kind of how I'm taking it, as that they're similar. we're going with it. This is our last prompt, so we've got kind of a longer one this time. We need to add my birth month, which is March, so 3, and my birthday together, so 14, 15, 16, 17. Go to that page of Say You Swear, read the first sentence, and then use a word from that sentence to find my next read. So the word that we pick will appear in the title of my next read. Okay, so we found page 17. And now we need to find a word on this page that I can choose my next read from. That took me ages. I have just been sat there for so long trying to find a word that matches up with a word on page 17 of Say You Swear. And I finally found one. Let me get it up for a reference. Okay, so it says, she hip checks me and leans across the sink to finish her mascara. So we've got checks. And I have this book on my TBR. It's kind of missing one letter, but we're just gonna say that it's fine. I've got Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Check, checks, same thing, I feel. It was the only option we could go for without using the words like the, and, in, but. Like all of like the really, really basic like words that every title has and every page has. So I've chosen Check and Mate, and this is the book that we're going to be reading this weekend, which I'm super excited about because it is on my TBR. I am trying to make my way through Ali Hazelwood's backlist anyway, so I think I have this one, Love on the Brain, and her collection of novellas, and then I've like finished what she has out as of right now. So I'm very excited for this one because this is her debut YA novel. I know that Ali Hazelwood does tend to like to switch up her writing quite a bit, and she has written quite a few different genres now. She's got like a sports romance, STEM romance, she's got her paranormal one, and then she has her YA. So I'm very excited to get into this. I have heard a lot of people say it's very, very good, and even people who don't like YA have said they read this and they really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited to get into it. It's nice and short as well, which is obviously nice and refreshing, and I tend to always love Miss Ali Hazelwood's books. Like, I tend to love them, I tend to rate them, you know, 4-star and above. I've got some 5 stars from her. The only one that wasn't my favourite, which I think I rated like a 3-star, was Bride. But other than that, like, I've loved all of her books. I think that she writes such quirky and fun characters, and super excited for this one. Yes, I was one letter off, but no, we're not going to talk about it. It's fine. It was the closest we was going to get. I feel like I never get bang on the prompt, but it's fine. So I am going to go ahead and start reading this now. I'll keep checking in as I read further on through the book, but I'm very excited to start this, and as always, let me know if you've read it. I also quite like the cover, so I'm going to get on with reading and keep you updated. Angle? No, probably not, but I have just got back from a run, and before I went on my run I managed to read 50 pages of Check and Mate, so I've made a start on this book, and I just thought I'd share like my initial thoughts and feelings, because I kind of went into this not really knowing what it was about, other than that it's about chess and that it's YA. Didn't really know anything else, didn't really read the blurb, just went in with the vibes. So now I kind of have a bit of a gist of what the premise is. But if you was wondering why I look so terrible, it's because yes, I did just get back from my run. But there's no time like the present before the sun goes down to discuss these thoughts and feelings. So far we are following our female main character, who is sort of, she's 18, she I think, has she just graduated high school? I think she's like in the summer break between high school and college, and she's got a lot on her plate. She's got a lot going on. She cares for her mum because her mum has some kind of illness. She has 2 younger sisters, one 14 and one 12, and she's kind of acting as like their parent and co-parenting with her mum whilst also taking care of her mum. So she's got a lot going on, and she's kind of not really allowed to prioritise herself or her own interests. We see that she used to really enjoy chess, and she used to be really good at it, and that was kind of like her whole life. She would watch loads of YouTube videos on it, loads of reviews on it, like she was just in the chess world. And then she had to stop because I think her dad's out the picture, and she's taking on all these responsibilities. She's working in a garage, she's taking all the extra shifts, she's not going to college, and that's where she's at. Then she decides to her friend sort of pushes her into doing this chess tournament. She's like, we never do anything fun together anymore, please do this for me before I go off to college. And the friend is sort of like, do you know what, okay, I'll do it. So she goes to the chess tournament, she does the tournament, and when she gets there she realises the person that she's playing against is this like renowned chess guy. He's really good at it. He is like the champion. Is it called like the master gate? What is it? The game master? I'm not sure. Anyway, he's this like renowned, really hotshot good chess guy, and she's playing against him and she can't quite believe it. She's like, oh my gosh, and she ends up winning him in this tournament. And he's kind of like, who is this girl? I've just lost to a rookie. Like, this can't be happening. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're seeing that they've just crossed paths, they've just met. We don't really know too much about the guy yet. So he's called Nolan and the girl is called Mallory. We don't really know too much about him, but we do know that they're going to be kind of overlapping a lot. And I think that she is essentially going to throw herself back into the chess world. And that is because she's kind of going to be playing for like the cash prizes and things like that. And it's kind of giving me like YA Queen's Gambit. I was one of the people that absolutely loved Queen's Gambit. I thought that show was just incredible. It was so interesting, so good. It actually made me like love chess, and I know nothing about chess, let me just preface that. But it just made me like be obsessed, and I loved it. And this is giving me like major Queen's Gambit vibes. I think it's just because it's chess and it's like a girl who is sacrificing it all to play chess. I don't know. It's probably not like Queen's Gambit at all, other than the chess aspect. But that is where we're at. I'm 50 pages in. I'm gonna try and make a bit of a dent tonight after I've got my evening tasks done. So I'm maybe gonna try and make it to like page 100. I'm not too sure, but so far so good. This one is reading a little bit more. I'm not really getting like the quirky vibes from Mallory, where we normally get like in the Love Hypothesis and Not in Love, Love Theoretically, Deep End, literally pretty much all of Ali Hazelwood's books. We kind of get like this quirky FMC who's a little bit silly, a little bit like throws in a few jokes now and then. We're not really getting that with Mallory. I feel like she's a little bit more somber and she's a little bit more of a, I don't know, like a deeper character. I think it's because she's got a lot of things going on. But that is my thoughts and feelings, so I'll update you when I'm a bit further into it. But so far, so good, and I'm enjoying it. It's good to be back in another Ali Hazelwood book. Happy Saturday, everyone. It is the next day now. I managed to read up to page 100 yesterday, got my bookmark in there, and I've just made a brown sugar shaken espresso. It's actually really nice. It looked really pretty when I like poured the milk in, but I have stirred it since then because my current favourite drink is the brown sugar shaken espresso. So good. So good. It is such a sunny day and I feel like the weather has been so good recently, but that means that when I'm kind of like going in and outside, you know when like you get them little mini flies flying around your house and it's just super annoying because you've had the door open by accident and they're just like buzzing around and you can't catch them. Yeah, that is me right now. I had a phone call. Anyway, I'm back. Yeah, I managed to read up to page 100 last night and I am really enjoying this book. I feel like it's nice and light and fun, and I feel like the premise is really interesting because obviously we've got our main character Mallory and she is really struggling and she's kind of delving back into the world of chess. And what I like with these books is that I just genuinely know nothing about chess, and when I see like the tournaments and the prize that you can win and that some people like can make up their whole living off of chess, it's super interesting. And she is basically just as good as the Grandmaster #1. So he is the main male character and I feel like they're gonna have this kind of like competition going on where she's just as good as him but he wants to be better, and they're like playing these tournaments against each other, and I'm feeling like they're gonna keep coming, like crossing paths, and it's gonna be really cute and we're gonna start seeing them develop almost this like rivals to lovers story. So I'm enjoying that, and people keep kind of saying that they play the same, they have the same techniques, and it's interesting. This for me is a bit wordy in places. I'm not too sure why or if that even makes sense, but it just feels a little bit chunky and wordy in some of the sentences. There's a lot of like big words to say that it's a YA book. I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever had this with another Ali Hazelwood book, even though she does a lot of STEM. I think they're always quite easy to digest, but with this, a lot of the sentences read a little bit like chunky and they don't just like flow off the tongue or flow through my brain. But other than that, I am really enjoying it, and I just love Ali Hazelwood's writing, so this is a win for me. And yeah, I'm gonna go sit out in the sun, read a little bit more, and I'll update you when I'm about halfway through. The next day now. It is Sunday. I managed to finish Check and Mate last night. I actually ended up reading this within like all of yesterday and Friday night, so the lighting has just gone weird. Great. So I actually finished this really quickly and I kind of flew through it. I do think if you're in a slump or you're in the mood for like a snappy, quick, light-hearted read, then definitely this one would be the way to go because it just flew by and I feel like it was really easy to get stuck into. I did kind of struggle getting into it at first. Within like the first 100 pages I did kind of struggle, but then once I was into it and I was like flying through. Loved the characters, loved the premise, loved the plot. So I do think just give it a chance if you are a little bit like not loving it at first, because it gets so much better. I think that this is such an incredible book because it kind of doesn't just focus on the romance. To be honest, it's actually, I wouldn't even define it as a romance. I think it has a romance subplot. Yes, I wouldn't even say the guy is the main character. I honestly wouldn't. Yes, there is like romance going on and that is one of the overarching themes and plots, but I do think it's pushed aside and I do think that it's not really the main thing, to be honest. I think the main thing is Mallory discovering, you know, her love for chess, discovering that she doesn't have to be taking care of her siblings as much as she has been, kind of just learning to have fun again and act her age, like act like an 18-year-old and not like an older woman with lots of responsibilities. She's really like rediscovering herself, and also it talks a lot about feminism within the chess community and how chess has always sort of been like a man's world and women have their own league and they can't really play within like the big games because, you know, it's all men, and they kind of have like their other league that men kind of look down on, and there's not really many women in the top games. And then she obviously learns all about that and she's like, what? And it just touches on how, you know, she is the best player and all these men are jealous, and there's a lot of like sexism going on in the chess community. Not sure if that is like actually how it is in real life, but in this book it really touched on that, and I feel like that was such a good topic to put into a YA book because obviously, you know, female empowerment, like we should be reading about this. And I think another thing that I did think while reading is that it doesn't read like a YA book. For some reason I felt like this read like any other Ali Hazelwood book. It didn't stick out to me as YA, it didn't stick out to me as reading super young and being super childish, not childish, but more immature. It just felt like any other book. This to me, it fits within the realms of the love hypothesis, love theoretically, anything like that it fits into. And I will say with love theoretically and this one, I do think that Ali Hazelwood sometimes within her books really does a great job of sort of focusing on the female character and female empowerment and feminism and things like that, and then putting the romance to the side and sort of having that as a subplot, a bit like Emily Henry when she does like more women's fiction with a side of romance. I think Ali Hazelwood does that sometimes as well, and it's really, really refreshing. I did also love the subplot of romance. I thought that it was really cute, really sweet. You could really tell that the characters had this sort of sweet romance going on, and I think it was interesting that they was kind of like rivals. The main guy was such a sweetheart. He was very, very understanding, very, very forgiving, and just a great guy. Honestly, he was a great guy. And yeah, I love this book. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna rate it. I think I'm gonna rate it a 4.25 stars. I think I'll pop it on the screen, but I'm thinking a 4.25 stars because it was really, really good. I had a great time. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. The reason that I said in the last clip that it was kind of reading a little bit chunky and a little bit like the sentences weren't flowing for me was purely because I think I was just not into it yet. But then I kind of understood our main character a bit more, understood her inner monologue, and it got a little bit easier to comprehend. But all of her characters seem to kind of follow the same font, but just with little different touches. And I do think Mallory was kind of a little bit more, she had like more of a deep undertone because she's struggling with supporting her family and all that kind of thing. And I thought that that was interesting as well, how she is providing for her family. She's got more going on than just like a regular character. It didn't feel surface level is what I'm trying to say. It definitely did not feel surface level. I feel like the characters felt very fleshed out. They both had their like backstories, their histories that we learn about, and they both have things going on within their own personal lives. And I feel like it didn't just feel like two characters who meet, blah 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 blah. It felt like two very real characters, and I highly recommend this. Definitely on the higher end of YA, but I think it's still, you know, it still fits within the YA genre obviously, but it's definitely more the higher end of YA. So the Bookish Scavenger Hunt picked me a great book. I have had a great time reading this. I hope that you have enjoyed the reading vlog. Let me know in the comments if you have read Checkmate, because it is one of her newer releases I guess, I think, is it? She released Deep End and then Not in Love, and then I think it was Checkmate before that. Let me know if you've read it. I personally really recommend it if you haven't. And yeah, the Bookish Scavenger Hunt strikes again. It's picked me a great book. I feel like, what have I had so far? I've had Out on a Limb, I think, and then last time, what did I have? I am not sure. I'm not sure what I have. Maybe I'll have to go watch that video to see what I ended up choosing. But I have had a great time, and it's definitely a really fun way to pick your next read. So if you want to like use these prompts to pick your next read, please let me know what you end up with and if you enjoyed it or not, because it's just so fun. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for staying till the end. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.